that we've now officially launched in Africa. Now we're going to look at the existing products to give you guys a reminder of what we actually do. So it's not just about launching the new products, it's about reinforcing what else we do. So we have the Ready Pump. This is the smallest Flygt electrical submersible that we do. Very popular pump. I know some of you guys really do love this pump. It's made for the duration, okay, for a specific niche in the market. Aluminium with rubber-lined strainers and parts. Obviously, the reason for that is that in sumps and wherever you've got sandy grass, this will last longer. Okay, so more cost-effective option for the smaller end of the dewatering range. There are the 3 units from 0.42 kilowatts to 9 kilowatts. And there you go, you're looking at 15 meter head to about 7 liters a second. So we start off with the smaller pumps and we go to the bigger ones. The classic 2000 series that a lot of the dewatering Flygt reputation is built on. We all know a lot of these pumps. We will use a lot of these pumps in mines, both pit, underground, industry, water transfer, flood applications. Probably the most famous is the 2590 kilowatt, which is used a lot in the mines. A lot of you guys use and buy regularly, so that's still one of our market-leading products. With obviously flows from just over 200 meters head down to 300 liters a second. So quite a big range that's used every day globally throughout the world. Next we come on to the 2600 sludge. Now what we're looking at is we're looking at moving from drainage water. If you remember the 4 elements that we were looking at the beginning, we had drainage water, sludge water, slurry water, and then corrosive water. So now we're looking at the sludge water. The whole idea of the 2600 is that we were looking at maximum densities of 1.2. So what we did is we changed the bottom end with a vortex impeller on the same 2600 drives. But if you purchase one of those, you can still swap it back for the bottom end of those, which gives you real flexibility. We can pump solids from 80 mil and concentrations of about 20% by weight. So this starts to give you real diversity in what we're actually pumping. Those are the 3-4 units, MTs and HTs. Obviously the 2640 with the HT, going up to 5.6 kilowatts. Flows, you look at about 38 meters head down to 30 liters a second. So although there's full models in there, they cover quite a range when you're talking about sludge applications, especially in industry and some on the mining. Then we go on to the 2700 stainless for the corrosion. So we've now covered three of the 4 main fluids that we look at. The thing to understand about this is that we have a good pH range in this because it's made from 316 and 329 on the shaft. There's a lot more applications that we could use in industry for this, but I think everybody tends to shy away from it because the moment you mention corrosive water, everybody gets a little bit edgy and it's acid or it's alkaline and seals bursting and things going wrong, and people tend to shy away from it. There's no reason to shy away from it. These are the different models. Now we can have a look at the drainer models, and then obviously you can look at the solids handling ones. So that gives you a greater diversity again of looking at corrosive products and not shying away from it. there's the range. You look at 72 meters closed valve down to about 62 liters a second. So it's again another big envelope that we're looking at. Then we come on to the Flygt 5000 series, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. This is the best slurry pump on the market by far. And those of you that have put them in will know that. What we've got to understand and what makes it so unique is that in standard applications on the hydraulic design, they tend to have, the competition tends to have a smaller impeller. What actually happens in the sludge is that the water moves faster than the solids. This causes excessive wear in the system. All right. Also, what you've got is that on standard impellers, the back vane is shorter. So what this does is that although you're now being more abrasive because the fluid's being pumped out quicker, it's actually causing the solids to bounce off the end of on the side of the volute, which causes even more wear in slurry. That's why they tend to wear quicker. So what we've done is we've increased the size of the volute and the impeller. For the simple reason is that we've slowed the slurry down so that you kind of get one movement through that's consistent with the water, so you get less abrasion and resistance through the volute and out. We also have longer back vanes, okay, which gently moves the slurry out. It doesn't cause it to slam on the side, so we have less wear on the actual volute. And this is important to understand that when we're talking to customers, that this is a great feature, and this is what makes this pump so brilliant in the marketplace, because it outlasts everything else. These are the different designs that you've got, the different impellers, and obviously they have accessories like agitators and everything else to help keep the slurry in suspension as much as possible. But what's even nicer is that the envelope goes from 100 meters closed valve down to about 360 liters a second. That's a lot of slurry to be moving in a submersible. So what I'm going to go through is some typical applications that we've done globally, so that you get a feel for the different sectors that we look at and where Flygt pumps can actually be situated. So here we've got emergency drainage of floodwaters in a municipal environment. As you can see, after flooding, here's two different types. You've got mining and quarrying, in all different aspects of mining and quarrying, open pits, process water supply. Here you can see sludge, and obviously here you can see your 2400s in a typical mining application. In industry, that particular one is a 5100 in the iron and steel industry for hard abrasion. Here you've got another one in industrial slurry transfer, and there you've got the 2600 in another different part of industry. But there's all different types of industries. If we start putting them on there, this slide's going to get too heavy. Construction and tunneling, stream diversions, drill rig, water supply, you name it. We can put it anywhere. Oil and gas, this particular installation is actually the drilling mud. Okay, and there you can see the agitator that's going with it. They're going down to make sure that the drilling mud is pumped away. Now we move on to the Godwins. Hence why I'm sitting here in a lovely, nice fluorescent jacket. Yeah? We start off with the main core product line with the CDs and HLs. All right, these are the pumps that made Godwin famous. Why do they make them famous? Because one, we have the dry prime system, which is obviously for full automatic dry priming. We go through a Venturi system, which has got only one movable part in it, which reduces the labor costs. We run the mechanical seal and the liquid rock for true dry running protection. As I said before, we ran it for 48 hours with no damage to the pump. The durable pump end is all about the construction, and the grade of materials that we use in Godwin is all top end of the range. On the cast iron we use GG25 to make sure for a global rental market, because it's got the widest range of temperature fluctuations. So we get the least amount of wear and we get the best temperature range. Silicon carbide seals, again, trouble-free running. We have an open impeller, which started out in the global rental market. One pump, one impeller to try and do absolutely everything, because you would take one pump into so many different applications and you could use it rather than every time having to change the impeller or change the pump. So that gives you diversity with the product. You can have them in skid mounted, trailer mounted. You can have them in hushbacks like here. You've all been outside with the NC100 going. It's an open set, but it's quite a quiet open set, as against a lot of our competition seem to be very noisy. Stainless steel options, we go from full cast iron all the way up to CD4MU, so there isn't anything really that we can't pump. We have an intelligent control panel, which is a prime guard that we use in conjunction with pressure transducers. This acts like a variable speed drive for the different running RPMs on a diesel. So everything that a variable speed drive can do, that panel can do as well, which gives you even greater flexibility on a temporary diesel pump. Variable speed operation on the pump. If you don't have the prime guard, you can actually throttle it up and down according to your site conditions, which gives you greater flexibility again. We have a close couple design for obviously improved efficiencies. Because of the close couple design, obviously there's less chance of shaft deflection and bearing wear. What you can see here is that we have the HL range and we have the CD range. So the CD range is the compact dewatering range, which gives us high flows. Okay, so obviously from around about 50 meters, yes, we have an elevated CD head here, but pretty much that gives us high volume bypass. We use a lot of that for sewage bypass around the world. Here we typically have the high head applications that we use either in mining or boosting inline pipe transfer that we use in the Middle East, where we've got up to 20 kilometers worth of pipe that we have to fill. So in that range, although from where you're sitting doesn't look quite big, but actually there's a lot that we can fit into there. Based in all of these is a multitude of curves to make sure that we've got the best efficient pump for you. Godwin NC, obviously this is now Flygt N technology in a Godwin pump. This is typically what we use in obviously municipal applications, and they're the three envelope curves that we look at. Excuse me, so we look at 65 meter closed valve up to 400 cube now. This is proven technology, but now it's in a Godwin, which makes it even more diverse. This has, in the last 12 months, seen one of the biggest rises in the Godwin factory of production so far, because people are starting to understand that you can have a temporary pump with the N technology in it, and it works perfectly. Next thing that we look at is another thing that Godwin has done is the Heidra Range, which is the hydraulic submersible. This is a very, very underutilized product. This is where obviously we have suction lifts greater than 8.5 meters. So what we have is the Godwin wet end that's run through a diesel or electric driver through a hydraulic power pack.
Excuse me, what's the chances for oil leaks
Oil leaks?
in that system?
No. Unless you abuse it. No. We've had a lot of success in Australia with the Godwin Heidra Range on mines, where, believe you me, they've abused it as much as possible, and we haven't had any leaks yet. What we have had is people catching the hoses with forklifts and stuff like that and ripping it off, but actual no wear and tear. So here we have a look at the Heidra Range. We've got 118 meters over there, and we go down to 113 cubes an hour. So there's 11 models in here. What's even more diverse about this product is that the wet end will come with a 3-bladed impeller, a vortex impeller, or the end impeller. So again, you've got diversity in the product that you're looking at and what you need to pump efficiently. Again, you can have it in a hatchback, on a trailer, whatever combination that you need to be able to get that job done. So again, we go through some of the Godwin products, mechanical seal. We've got the durable pump end, which is all about the construction. We have the open impeller, the vortex impellers, the end impellers that we have, so we go again the diversity of the product. Durable seals, double mechanical seals for trouble-free operation. Stainless steel, but also what we have is a slurry gate. Now, what the slurry gate does is it sits on the side here, and it's got 2 operations. When you put it in, you put it one way, it pumps out. If you put the gate the other way and close it, what happens is it starts to act as an agitator. Where we've had a lot of success in Australia is that we've built a power pack with 3 hydraulic submersibles on it. So you have one that's pumping and 2 that are agitating. And then what they do is they go up and down the line just to make sure that you've got the medium is actually in suspension. So again, it's not just one pump that we can put on there, so long as we can go 3 or 4 pumps, but understand that we have to suit the driver to suit that on your application. So very briefly now, I want to look at some of the things that we're doing to make improve the Godwin product. One of the things that we've started to implement now on the smaller models, which in about just under 9 months we should be on for all the big HL 250s, 260s, etc., is the intelligent priming, which at the moment will come as a standard. Basically what happens is we have a compressor that pushes air through the Venturi system. Now obviously what happens is once we've reached prime and the pump's pumping, the compressor is actually on and it's consuming power. So what we've done is with a single liquid detector switch, the moment it's primed, that uses a clutch to disengage the compressor. So actually what we're doing is we're saving 2-3 kilowatts of power, of absorbed power on that machine. Alright, so whereas a lot of our competitors don't have that. So all the priming systems will still continue to absorb power. That will obviously lead to reduced fuel consumptions, longer compressor life, belt life, and ejector life. Another thing that we're doing, and quite successfully, is the remote control and monitoring. We can remotely stop and start the pump. This is based for pumps that are in the middle of nowhere, they're not very accessible. But equally here, if you wanted to be able to start and stop a pump if there was a problem, we can do it by SMS or up to 5 people. So again, this gives us flexibility of If your customer is wanting a pump that's far away, that he doesn't have to have a guy that's permanently on site, this is another feature that we can offer to help the customer. This is obviously the prime guard that I was talking about, that we use in conjunction with pressure transducers. In a nutshell, it'll do everything that a variable speed drive does, okay, which gives the Godwin very good flexibility. Some of the areas that we've looked at globally, these are the Heidras, okay, and there's in a sewage application. This is a typical sewer bypass using Godwins. We do like our diesel pumps, don't we? But there's all sorts of applications that you can use it in. Digester cleaning is another favorite that we quite often get used to spec up. Mining and quarrying. So we have in all different types of mines. We can put them on barges. We can supply the whole package that goes with that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be there. We can supply and spec up everything. Industrial. Obviously you can see this is used for a lot of the water around the industrial units. Here we've got Godwins now supplying up into the factory from the river, Colorado. Here we've got construction and tunneling. In this particular one, we've got the super silent next to a house for just water transfer. And there we're taking water out of a stream to supply for the water on the plant. Oil and gas industry. This is always a nice one. This particular picture here, all right, we have horizontally mounted hydras. Okay, so what you have is shield protection here from the fire. The power packs actually sit at the back here, so they're nowhere near the fire. And then obviously the pump is flooded into these, which then put out the fire. So again, it just shows you the diversity of, if you have an application, we can look at it and we can come up with a solution. This is for obviously barge ballasting, etc. that we've done. In the marine industry, obviously these are all fully duplex wet ends that the Argentinian Navy have decided to purchase from us quite gladly. Now we've talked about the products and what they can do. I'd like to briefly touch on rental, because in the market that we're in now, rental is becoming, with all the pressure on, everybody wants to cut capital costs from suppliers, pump manufacturers. We can rent these products. So what we have is we have three pillars, if you like. We can sell the product, okay, all the different types of products and all the accessories that go with it. On the rental side, we can rent all those products, but what we do is we can tailor make that to how long the customer wants to pump it. So if he wants to pump only for a week, we can tailor make a package for that. If he wants to pump for 6 months, we can do that as well. It's all about what the customer needs. But at the end of the day, we take the equipment off site and he doesn't have to have a huge capital outlay. And the last pillar that we look at is the full dewatering services, where instead of just renting the equipment to him, we will actually go and install it, we will specify it, we will maintain it, and then we will decommission it at the end. So the customer doesn't have to worry. We'll come in and do the whole job for him. Typical areas, obviously you guys know, mining, industrial, municipal, construction, flood response, whatever it may be. We can tailor make a package, especially for rental or any dewatering services for the customer. If he needs an emergency, we can respond. It's open 24/7. Wide range. This has got to be the biggest one at the moment. Everybody wants to outsource. Nobody wants to, with the pressure that's on us financially at the moment, the way the economy is going, they want to outsource the product. So it's not their responsibility anymore, it's our responsibility. And we can do that. We can do the whole package. One of the things that obviously you touched on this morning was making sure that when we look at the energy audits, what we do is we do a pump system audit. We'll go on to a site, we'll go on to a mine, we'll go on to a municipality, and we'll actually map out their whole pumping system of what they've got in there now, and we'll tell them how those pumps are operating. And then what we'll do is we'll make recommendations based on the pumps, whether they're working correctly or not, on what he needs to do for the future if he wants to save energy. Can he get more flow out of it? Is that what his requirement is? Is it that he wants to save energy? Is it whatever the customer's driver is, we can have a look at that. And we offer that service. You guys want that service? Please call us. We're quite happy to go out on site. We're quite happy to do these audits. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to put this slide up because from all the speakers here that you've seen over the last 2 days, understand this, that Xylem will become the world's trusted leader in solving water issues, without a doubt. And we want you guys to join us, because without you, we can't make this happen. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think after 2 days of excellent speakers, independent and Xylem speakers as well, seeing faces coming and going, faces the whole 2 days here, thank you guys. Without customers attending these days will mean nothing. So thank you for taking the time out, coming to our Xylem Day and listening to our speakers, and getting a better insight into our company and what we can offer to you guys. And I urge you to take the opportunity and make use. We've got a sales force, we've got an application engineer force that can help you solve your not only pumping problems, but water solution problems. You know where to find us, head office in Joburg. I know that a lot of the sales guys have been handing out business cards. If you don't find it, we do have a website that is run by our very capable marketing manager. I think this is the last I want to say. Rick, thank you for arranging all of this. I think at the end of the day, a job well done. The figures that I got is that we've had over 120 people coming and going over the last 2 days. And I think we can stamp this as a good success for Xylem Water Solutions South Africa. And with customers like you that's supporting us, we can only grow on this in future. And I expect to see all of you at the next Xylem Water Day as well. Thank you.